Welcome to episode 9, The Old Way, Cuckmere Haven and Seven Sisters. Again, I'm staying close to home. I love to travel, but I also enjoy exploring new places, even if they are just a short drive from home. Before we dive into the walk, please remember to like, follow, comment on this podcast, also share. The more listeners, the merrier. Now, The Old Way. One of the longest pilgrimages, and oldest, in England. It passes just a few miles north of where I live, and there are plenty of deviations. This is one of them. Let's explore. Well, good morning. I am in a wonderful little village called Alfriston in East Sussex. Parish Church of St Andrew. Church of England, but it has the Scottish flag on the front there, obviously because it's of Church of St Andrew. It's a beautiful church. It's got quite a, what I would say, chunky tower. It's really thick. And lots of little, it's just put together with loads of little stones on the outside. The facade is just all these wonderful stones which have quite a like a marble effect to it, and obviously surrounded by a wonderful graveyard. I don't know if you're supposed to say that graveyards are wonderful, but this one is. And then there's a thatched cottage over there which really needs its thatch seen to because it's just covered in moss. But yeah, walking around the graveyard here, it's one of those graveyards where you can't even read the gravestones. They are that old that they're so weathered that there's just literally moss. In memory of William Aid, grandson of Richard and Sarah Newman, died October the 18th, 1897, age 68. There's one that we can read. Okay, so I have found the route that I was planning on taking, which is part of the South Downs Way. It's also part of the Old Way, which is why I am deciding to do this today. Now, the Old Way stretches from Southampton to Canterbury Cathedral, and specifically to Thomas Becket's resting place. Now, I'll talk more about that later, I think, as we get further along. But just crossing one of the tributaries to the Cuckmere, I'm going to follow this along. It looks very wet. We've had quite a lot of rain recently over the last few weeks, so this could be quite wet for quite a lot of the way. We'll just see how we do. So walking down now, not that far into the walk, and I'm coming to the next village, Litlington, and a very similar spire church to the one in Alfriston, which to me is, as I've travelled around the UK, it's interesting to me how you think all churches are the same, but they're not. I mean, that's me just being probably a little bit naive, but definitely the different areas have different styles to their churches, and here they seem to be quite low, and what I would describe as fat. They have these little square spires, and it kind of fits in with the landscape, which is interesting, that the geography has really taken charge of what people have done. You know, I can see the spire of Alfriston behind me, and there's this other spire here, and it's kind of like they're looking at each other. As I look down the valley at this point where I'm stood, I don't see any more, look down the valley towards getting through a very muddy path. Oh, it's all chalky. Oh, crikey, nearly went. I'm all right.
I am all right, honest. As I walk more in nature, my knowledge of the world around me grows. Here I am trying to do my best David Attenborough commentary.
Now, I was about to say there's a very specific breed of sheep here now on my left. There's a herd of them. And yeah, they are very specific in that they would be goats. There's a lovely herd of goats. There's quite a few of them. They've got their little tails sticking up. Thank you. There you go. It's just confirming that there are goats. Yeah. I'm talking about you. Okay, I'm not talking to you. Just keep eating. Thank you. They are all looking at me. It's quite funny. Yeah, I'm going to leave you alone now. But they've all got like brown heads, little horns, and their tails are all sticking up, and they're all pure white. And then in this field we're going to be walking along, there are sheep, and the farmer or the farm hand is just putting a load of sheep in here. But in the field, oh, here we go again. This is, oh, what are they? Come on, everyone. Turnips. Yeah, I think they might be. No, is that beetroot? No. Yeah, turnips. Oh, and there's a load of sheep on the path. Oh, I don't like that. Because we know one of them's going to get angry. They're all on the path. Why are you on the path? Eat the turnips. They're all eating the grass that's on the path. And just go over into the turnips. Oh, there's a lot of them as well. It's not like 2 or 3. There's like a couple hundred. Oh, bugger. Anyway, there's about 20 of them off to my left, and they're all walking in one straight line. Literally being so stereotyped and such a cliche, one following the other. And oh no, and now the one that's leading's cutting down towards me. Don't do that. Oh dear. And it's getting more. Oh, just eat the turnips. Oh no, now they're all running in front of me. Oh, I didn't want this. What do you want? Oh God. I don't know. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, I know. You stay over there. I'm just going to drive these sheep. I'm just driving this sheep. I don't know if I told you my story about driving cows in Santiago, on the Camino de Santiago. I don't think I did I? One day, I did get lost. It was the only time that I really honestly got lost on the Camino, and I had no idea where I was. And so at one point I came across this old gentleman and his dog, and I asked him in my broken Spanish, am I on the Camino? And he laughed at me and told me in very, very strong dialect that no, I wasn't, and I was miles off it. And he sort of pointed in a direction, but I couldn't really understand his directions, so I just had to keep going the way I was going. And he did say keep going the way I was going, but then something else happened, and I don't know what happened. Anyway, a couple of miles onwards, I came across this lady who was driving her cattle down the lane that I was walking on, and I asked her where the Camino was, and she said, I'll help you if you help me. It's all in Spanish. Yo entiendo bastante, pero yo no hablo mucho. Okay, we're getting to a point where the sheep have to get out of the way now. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I ended up helping her drive her cattle down this lane and put them into another... I should take a picture of this, shouldn't I? Put them into another field Oh, and there's cobwebs flying all over the place. It's actually quite a nice picture, that. Oh, I'll put it on the blog. If you're not reading my blog, can you read my blog, please? Because I don't know why I'm doing it otherwise. I'm just writing it for nobody. Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, have a look on the website and you'll see blog there. Oh, I'll blog this. Oh, I've got spider's web all over my head. Oh, that was an eventful field.
Spiders' webs, sheep, goats, turnips. It was proving to be a lively day. Even with all of this happening, the walk started to work its magic on me, and I started to draw on reflections and thoughts from my present mind.
A couple of the podcasts that I've done, I've had a theme, and what I think about a lot is time, and our concept of time, and how we use our time, how we lose our time, how we may gain time. As I've grown older, I've come to realise how precious time is. I talk a lot about the most precious time is right now, is the present, is this moment that I'm in right now. It's the only time I've got. I have memories of past times and I have hopes of times to come in the future, but the only one is really right now. But it does fascinate me how time slows down sometimes. There are some days, some nights, even more so now as I get older, some nights when the night seems to go on forever because I just can't sleep. And then there'll be other nights where I wake up and I'm like, did I sleep? How did it get to be blah 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 o'clock in the morning? There are some days that just fly by. There are some years that, here I am now in November. What has happened this year? I look back and I think, what have I done? And I compare myself to other people. I compare myself to years gone past that I may have had, to my siblings, to the rest of my family, to my friends. And a lot of the time, that comparison is very unfair to myself. I'm learning more so that as a human we lean more into the negative than we do into the positive. There are some people that can lean into the positive very naturally and are very successful with that. I think I may be saying that the majority of us lean more towards the negative. And then we start worrying about loss of time, wastage of time, not being able to use my time to the best. So I'm going to have a little ponder today, a little bit more about time and its significance in my life and in our lives as human beings. Also, if you're not signed up to the newsletter, please do. Pop onto the website, storypilgrim.com, and you'll see a little box in there. All you have to do is put your email address in and subscribe. I only send one out a month. They're always very short. It's just me. There'll be a little ramble about whatever I'm thinking about at that time. Some interesting articles that I found on the web. And a recipe of the month, and also a little sneak preview as to what the next couple of episodes of the podcast are going to be. You'll be the first to know. So if you do subscribe to the newsletter, you'll get that little sneak preview of what is to come with the podcast.
I hope you've had a chance to have a look at our website, www.thestorypilgrim.com. More about that a little bit later on. Meanwhile, the landscape took my breath away.
So I have come out of the forest and I am greeted by this absolutely beautiful, amazing view of Cuckmere Haven. Cuckmere River meanders, literally meanders. It's going all the way down to the sea. It's a very calm day. It's a beautiful estuary. It's just stunning, and the reason being there's a couple of cottages down there right on the seafront. I'm going to walk down there. I'm probably about a mile away, but stories that come from here: Guy Fawkes landed here, Robin Hood, Dickens lived here, Queen Victoria walked along the beach. For our Harry Potter fans, the view as I get down to the sea, and then I'm going to walk towards this to Seven Sisters. That view is where the Quidditch World Cup took place I think it was in the Goblet of Fire, those white cliffs down there. It's an absolutely beautiful view, and I've picked a perfect day for it. This is cloudy, but it's very clear, very, very wet coming down, but I'm still on quite high ground. But just sort of thinking about the old way and people that may have come down this way over the years. The main reason why we have Canterbury as a place of pilgrimage is because of Thomas Becket. Born 1119, assassinated 1170, canonized 1173 by Pope Alexander III. I think it was Pope Alexander III. It was Lord Chancellor to Henry II for quite a while, and then became Archbishop of Canterbury and got into trouble with Henry regarding the rights of the church and all of that, and ended up being assassinated on the 29th of December 1170. Since then he's inspired, or he was deemed a martyr to the cause, had quite an influence on the church in Spain. Obviously the Pope canonized him only 3 years after his death. You've got Lord Tennyson writing a poem about him, which is over nearly 700 years later. You got T.S. Eliot's Murder in the Cathedral. There's a lot of influence that man has had, and so therefore a lot of people wanted to go, hello, another little dog joining me, wanted to make their way to his shrine. Hello, morning. And hence therefore we have Canterbury Cathedral as the head of the church in the UK, the head of the Church of England now, but has a huge influence. I only realised the other day that for some reason I thought Hindus, Muslims were much more populous on the earth than Christians. Got that wrong, Darren. 2.38 billion Christians in the world. Hindus is about 1.3, I think, or 1.6, something like that. It's about 1 billion less anyway. So Christianity's got a lot to answer for, but also, that's why we have all of these pilgrimage places. There's a lot of people out there that want to go and experience or maybe feel closer to God by doing all of this.
By doing all of this, I'm doing that, for my own reasons. I found myself reflecting a lot today. I was reminded of a story dear to me from my own life.
So back in 2017 I did the Camino de Santiago and also performed the one-person play underneath the lintel as I went. And just outside of Burgos there's a town called Hornillos. It's the first town you stop at outside of Burgos. And Hornillos translates to furnace on the Camino, and it was a very hot day that day, and Hornelius is a town of a population of 60 people. They have 2 churches and a Korean restaurant run by an Irish girl. And she used to be a theatre major, and so when we approached her and asked her if I could do the play there, she was absolutely delighted. So I did the play at this Korean restaurant, and there was about 15 people in attendance, and it went very well. There was a few distractions, but that's another story. And at the end of the play, I was packing everything up and collecting all my props together when this old gentleman came up in front of me, and there was, like I said, there was only 15 people in the audience, and it's a very interactive play, and I do not remember him. I do not remember seeing him, but he was clearly there because he was stood in front of me, and he came up to me and he just looked at me, and he was stooped over, old gentleman, and he looked at me and he said, "You, me, selfie?" I'm just so these delightful little ponies. I wonder if they'll let me come up and take a picture. Yeah, look up. He's eating away. Beautiful. He was like, "You, me, selfie." So, yeah. We took a selfie, and I asked him his name. He said his name was Hendrik. I said, "Are you walking the Camino?" He said, "Yes, but I'm very slow." He said at this point it'd taken him, I think, like 6 weeks to get to there, and I'd been going about 15 days, I think. He said, "I do 5-7 kilometers a day." I said, "Who are you with?" And he said, "I'm on my own." I said, "How old are you, Hendrik?" He said, 84. I was like, wow, you're 84 years old, and clearly was not in the best of health, but he was walking the Camino. And I said to him, I said, "Why, Hendrik, why are you walking the Camino?" And he said, "You'll laugh at me." I said, no, I'm not going to laugh at you. And he said, he told me how 20 years ago his wife passed away. He's from Germany. And ever since his wife passed away, he pretty much finished out his days working, would go home and stay at home in his apartment, and then he retired and he just stayed in his apartment. And then he said one day God told him to walk the Camino. So he got up and he's now walking the Camino. He did it straight away. And that to me was absolutely amazing, that no matter if you believe in a God or not, that man felt inspired to get up and walk across Spain. He was doing all 500 miles. He was doing it very slowly, but he just got out of his apartment and was walking. And he told me that story, and then he said, "But I'm very, very tired. Can I go to bed?" He asked me permission to go to bed, and I was like, "Absolutely, go to bed." He thanked me for the play, and off he went. I was very, very deeply touched by that, and the next day I was out walking again. One second. Morning. Hey. Let's get through this style gate, I should say. Oh wow. Now I'm looking down and there is a view. Oh, that's gorgeous. I'm up on the cliff and now I can look down at the beach and the estuary of Cuckhaven. I'm going to take a picture of this, and absolutely, please look at my blog, because this photograph will be on there. Oh wow, that is just... look at that, that's 40 minutes from my house, and I've never experienced it before. The perfect day for it. Again, I'm so lucky. But the next day, going back to Hendrik and the story, I was walking, and as you walk the Camino, occasionally you come across these markers in memorial for people who have passed away on the Camino. I remember seeing one for a 19-year-old lad from Denmark, I think he was, got killed as he was riding his bike. He was doing the Camino on his bike and got knocked over and killed. And I came across one for a 63-year-old lady, and previously, prior to meeting Hendrik, I thought, oh, that's really sad. You could come on the Camino and end your days there. But then I came across this one for this lady, and I immediately thought of Hendrik. Here he is at 84 years old, walking the Camino. And not nice to say, but there's a chance that he may pass away on the Camino. But then I thought, how amazing would that be? If he did, that would mean that he would leave this life doing something that he absolutely felt that he should be doing. And there'd be no regrets, he's doing it. He felt inspired, no matter whatever that inspiration is, he felt that was the right thing for him to be doing it.
I think about Hendrik often. Go with the flow. Trust that gut feeling. It's usually right and has a higher purpose. Now, talking about my gut.
So, I've got to a point along Seven Sisters now where it's time for some lunch. I haven't sat and had my lunch with you for a few episodes now. So this is absolutely wonderful day, discovering another area close to where I live. I'm halfway along the Seven Sisters now. I think I'm going to call it a day with regards to walking along and turn around and go back. But I have here my trusty Warburton thick, toasty white bread and liver sausage. Oh no, see that's a taste going way back. I haven't had a liver sausage sandwich for decades, and that's really nice. That's like that's just good. Bit of white pepper in there as well. And then today's choice of crisps is also going back. It's Skips. I mean, who remembers Skips? I mean, they've been around a long time. Prawn cocktail flavour. They literally crunch and melt in your mouth at the same time. How does that happen? They're just like little hats. You can put them inverted on your mouth, on your tongue, or not. They just sort of stick on the end of your tongue like a little cap. And you can either just let it melt there, or if you're like me, impatient, you just eat it. So that is the choice of lunch today. I'm sat here about 10 feet from the edge of the cliff, looking out over a very calm sea. Some may say silver flaked sea, if you were Oscar Hammerstein II.
Is it Steen or Stein? But yeah, it's just a lovely walk. I think also you got the contrast of the black rock, which is on the sea shore, it's the beach basically, and then you have this black rock, and then you have these white cliffs, and then the green of good old Blighty. Such a beautiful setting to have a lunch break. I set off back towards my car. The way was getting busier, more people taking in the scenery. I think you just missed that. As that family came through the gate, there's a big pile of horse poo there, and you heard the mother just go, "Alan, don't touch the poo." I mean, kids are great, aren't they? I mean, it's there, so of course it's got to be touched. To be back in that time when you were a kid and you could touch poo. I cannot stress it enough. If you and you might say to me, "But Darren, I don't like walking." That's fine. It's absolutely fine. Whatever it is, find it. Find whatever that is to get yourself out of the normal runnings, everyday runnings of life, just to find that little bit of tranquility and peace for just half a day, whatever that might be. Oh, I need both hands. Oh, crikey. Oh, you get a WD-40 out on that. Yeah, I whatever that might be, reading, writing, playing your PlayStation, Xbox, what is it? I personally always find, though, that when you get connected with nature, that again, I'm going to come back to it. Don't touch the poo, Darren. There's lots of poo. That teaches me so much. I mean, I'm part of it, aren't I? You know, I am a living thing that is on this planet that has evolved into what it is right now. Whether you are religious or not, the planet is evolving. It is changing. It's changing a lot because of what we're doing as human beings and how we are disrespecting the environment. If I haven't, I don't think I have mentioned it before, but I don't think it's been put into any of my final edits. But my good friend David has a podcast called Trees a Crowd, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely delightful. Please go and listen to that. If you enjoy this, you are definitely going to enjoy David's podcast. Trees a Crowd, David Oakes, look it up. The thing about this time of the year is the length of the days. Short. I made it back to Alfriston and St Andrew's Church, where I had started my walk earlier that day. Little gate here, look. And I can come in. And I'm in churchyard again. I've done full circle. Oh, crikey. Big puddle. I'll miss the puddle. Oh, this area of the churchyard's the newest bit, so here's the new dead people. You can tell who they are here because they're all new. Look there. I won't name any names. 2021, 2021, 2017. Yeah, 2023. So
what a delightful walk. And Alfriston that I'm coming into now is an absolutely beautiful little quaint English village with its inn, pubs, coffee houses. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Hi. And like I said, the church is quite spectacular as well. Very different style. So if you're ever in this area, definitely get down to Seven Sisters. Definitely have a look at Cuckmere Haven. It is absolutely beautiful. But try and come when it's not been raining so much, because it won't be as muddy.
Cuckmere Haven, Seven Sisters, the Old Way and the South Downs Way, all in one day. Plenty of wildfowl, a tribute, and a huge thank you to the National Trust. They do so much great work. Look them up and visit one of their several properties, parks, land. Just go and enjoy. I'm blessed to be able to do this. I'm lucky to be able to take the time off to be able to go for a walk, think, reflect, and share this with you. If you have any suggestions, any at all, please get in touch. Email me at connect@thestorypilgrim.com. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Just search for The Story Pilgrim. I'd love it if you share this podcast with those who you care about, those who are searching, those who want to be inspired, who are inspiring. Be like Hendrik. Follow, like, comment. Until the next time, keep listening. The Story Pilgrim was written and produced by Darren Hill. Original music by the amazing Anya Backer. Buen Camino.